We're live, pal.
Hey, we're live, pal. Sorry about that, everyone. This is, of course, Jose Youngs with MAFighting.com. Here with a, hopefully, new episode of the A-Side Live Chat. I say hopefully because we had a little bit of technical difficulties with the previous stream, but we are back. We are running. Fingers crossed. Audio issues are good. I'm still in Abu Dhabi, Yaz Island, Fight Island, whatever you want to call it. Esther and Casey are back in Englewood, still up to good, all that fun stuff. Hopefully we get some questions. I imagine we will. But
we have a lot already.
We have a lot of questions already. We've got all the pleasantries out of the way. Let's talk fist fighting. Casey, what is our first question of the day? Before I say that, you can ask questions in the YouTube chat. You can ask questions on Twitter. You can ask questions on the site. You can ask questions wherever, and we'll get to them, hopefully. But anyway, what is our first question?
Going straight to questions. Alrighty. And we're gonna have a special announcement into the show, or middle of the show, or later.
Yeah,
in the show?
like last 15 minutes or something. Whatever.
Special announcement. Okay.
Maybe halfway through, so you have to watch. I don't know, or listen. Rather.
For whatever reason, my internet became a potato, so that's all pixels to me. Esther, can you read it?
Sure. Question from the site from Zaku Kogeki.
Long-time commenter.
Long-time commenter. Jon Jones teasing going back to light heavyweight. Jon vacates the belt to go to heavyweight, and now that Jan wins the belt, Jon is talking about going back to light heavyweight to get his belt back. What is going on with Jon?
Well,
what is going on with Jon? That's like, I feel like we could have asked that question pretty much like every few months in this sport, but yeah.
Every day, honestly, what is going on with Jon? Because Jan won the belt, and now Jon wants to fight Jan. So Jon on Jan might be an actual thing. But of course, Jon Blachowicz finished Dominick Reyes in the co-main event of UFC 253 here in Abu Dhabi. To claim the vacant light heavyweight title, the title that Jon Jones vacated in his bid to move up to heavyweight to claim his second title. Wouldn't be champ, would just be a one-time champ with the possibility of maybe in the future dropping back down to light heavyweight and claiming what he gave up. But after Jan won, Jon tweeted a few things like, what would anyone say if I drop back down, reclaim my belt, this and that, had a few words with Jan over the internet, said all of Europe should thank him, but then also said he was really... Sent him fruit baskets, but also said he was happy for Jan because he's a good guy, and Jan, of course, tweeted back at him saying he wants to fight Jon. He also said he wants to fight Daniel Cormier. Daniel Cormier was on Ariel Helwani's show and said that if Jon does drop back down to fight Jan, that just proves that he wanted no part of Dominick Reyes because, of course, he fought Dominick Reyes to a very hard split decision win in a fight many, including myself, believe Dominick Reyes won. 3 of us were there, but that's another conversation. But Esther, what is going on with Jon?
I think Jon just wants attention. He's just, feeling a little out of the spotlight. And I don't think he's actually going to fight anytime soon. He's probably, I don't know, relaxing, doing whatever. But it's, he's one of those fighters that needs, like, constant feedback, I think. So I think sure. he just wants to keep his name out there. And or maybe when he watched the fight, he thought, well, maybe he didn't have any particular idea of how he wanted to be Dominick Reyes besides, going to decision there. But maybe when he looked at Jan, he was like, I see something. So he just felt like it was a easier fight or what have you, which, what's going on with Jon? I think he just wants to stay in the spotlight.
So you agree with DC? What DC saying?
Not necessarily. I'm not really of the fighters are afraid camp. That's just really never. I really think that's very rarely ever the reason. I just think he doesn't want to fall too far out of the spotlight. And because heavyweight isn't necessarily. I don't know that heavyweight will even be more forgiving, or better for him.
I think it also has to do with the fact that Jan just tore through Dominick Reyes, and maybe Jon wants to beat the man. A lot of people think beat him. Also, there's the whole, Jan, unlike Dominick Reyes, has a whole country behind him. So maybe Jon sees that as a platform to gain even more fans, if anyone wants to be a Jon Jones fan in 2020. But I don't really care what Jon does. I wouldn't mind seeing him fight Jan Blachowicz. Just a new, refreshing matchup. I think if Jan somehow beats Jon Jones, we can call Jan Blachowicz the man, which I did not believe would be a possibility in 2020. If anyone had Jan Blachowicz being the UFC light heavyweight champion on their bingo board for 2020, you're lying.
Wait, so
I guarantee you.
Is Jan not the man? What's going on?
Jan is the.
Is he not the man until he beats Jon?
Jan
No, I
is the
think
man
he
by
is.
I think he
default.
is.
Yeah.
That's what.
No,
but
I think it's
the fact that we're having this. Yeah.
think,
I'm sorry.
sorry. I was gonna say that I think that Jon might have just looked at that fight and thought, well, that seems like it might actually be a little more exciting. You know.
He also said he wanted to fight Jan after beating Dominick Reyes. Remember, there's that image of him. Jan knocked out Corey Anderson, and him and Jon were literally flexing at each other. Mm-hmm. Jon was sitting in the front row, like growling and barking, and Jan was flexing at him. So I don't want to say there's beef, but they've had some sort of healthy competitive rivalry in the last few months. So I wouldn't hate that fight. I always like seeing a motivated Jon Jones, and maybe Jan Blachowicz is the one that'll get him motivated to drop back down to light heavyweight. Who knows? But
I also agree with you,
you guys see that
though.
video of him working out? What did you say?
Well, I was gonna say I agree with you on he wants to fight somebody with the whole country behind him. He'd rather have. Jan may not be super popular necessarily in the United States, but he does have a following outside of the United States, and Jon maybe knows what would sell better. And Dominick Reyes, despite almost beating him, or some considering that he did beat him, it still doesn't have that kind of pull. It doesn't, despite not being a household, despite maybe having more people know him here in the States, I would say overall more people know who Jan Blachowicz is.
No way. I don't.
It's
UFC fans, I think Reyes is. I don't think either is a big name, but I think Reyes is still a bigger name.
Yeah, but what if it's not just UFC fans? Like Jan's pretty big. Like what do we talk about? Like Bellator is technically the second biggest promotion in the world, but in Europe, KSW is like the spot, like that place, like KSW promotion.
It don't matter if they're big fans. Are they buying pay-per-views? That's what Jon cares about. That's what Jon cares about.
I think he cares about. Does he, or does he just want more fans to follow him in general and not follow the UFC? I think it's like when Tyron Woodley fought Darren Till, and I asked him, is it a bigger deal fighting someone with the entire country behind him? He says 100%. He fought Carlos Condit, who's American, fought Damian Maia, who wasn't the biggest name in Brazil, because there's obviously bigger, and he fought Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, who's from like South Carolina. So he's fighting these guys with no nation behind him, and then you see guys at all the weight classes around him. You see like featherweight, you had Jose Aldo and Conor had these armies of people behind them. Lightweight, you have Habib and Conor. Middleweight, you had Anderson Silva and Rob Whittaker, Michael Bisping, GSP are all these international icons in their countries. And then welterweight, he just had no one. And then he fought Darren Till, who was obviously a really big deal in England, and he used that to snatch some of those fans. Maybe Jon feels the same way.
I don't believe that at all. I think Jon was taking a poop, and he was bored on the toilet, and he sent a tweet out, and that's all he's done. We act like he's done a lot. Like he's at Zuffa offices trying to get this fight made. Like he didn't do anything. He just sent a tweet out which said nothing. Like maybe, yeah.
Jon Jones doesn't poop.
Yeah. Oh, but yes.
Next question.
No. Oh wow. All right, Esther. Esther runs the show. All right, next question. We're gonna talk about some other stuff, but whatever.
Oh,
Esther.
so, I mean it's 10:20 already, so Yeah,
but we should start like 5. We only started like 5 minutes ago because we.
That's true. But we got a lot of work to do today.
All right. Wow, let's just let's fly through. Let's just keep it
on
track.
It's very late, Ryan.
Okay, next
what
question is from Grin N.
Not another long time commenter.
Do you think USADA has made MMA in the UFC safer in any way, or compared to other MMA promotions who don't drug test, or are more lax in their testing standards? Why or why not? Personally, without going to specifics, I'd say no. USADA just gives the facade that it's making the sport safer, but in all actuality, it does not.
Safer?
I think Grin N is pretty on point here. I don't think there's any safer. Well, I mean,
Yeah, I don't think people are taking less damage from since USADA joined.
Yeah, and
I think it's not safer necessarily, and it's there's probably slightly less cheating from people who don't have the wherewithal to properly cycle. But I don't really think it's preventing anything.
Yeah, as far as I can tell, USADA has just popped more people who basically bought the wrong protein powder at GNC and smoked smoked a little too much weed a few weeks out from a fight. That's pretty much all USADA has brought to the sport.
It's definitely impacted a lot of people's financials more than their health. I'll tell you that much. But yeah, I think Grin N is on point. There's a facade that it's cleaning up the business, but then you see cases like Tom Lawler and Josh Barnett where they basically take their whole career away from them for a hot minute, and then they get released right at the end. Like, come on. I don't know how anyone can defend that.
I mean, Romero.
The only thing that it did prevent is the domination of Hadis Ibrahimov.
Whoa! Wow! That's
Wow!
That's some speculation.
I think it's gotten a lot of people more paranoid about taking supplements. Whether even when I say supplements, I mean even like protein.
Yeah, just
like people are just nervous about taking anything. Like they're more aware of what they put. If anything, they're more aware of what they put in their body. And phrases like tainted supplement have become much more prevalent in the last 5 years than like in the first 20 years of the UFC.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think it's I think that's just they're so inflexible of so many weird things. And hey, I mean, we lost didn't we lose Romero for like a year or two, and that he wound up making a bunch of undisclosed money from lawsuit stuff? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hector Lombard we lost Lombard for a little bit.
Sean O'Malley lost him.
But we lost Sean O'Malley. Kelvin Gastelum's been popped for like marijuana metabolites, which is nonsense, which is a whole nother conversation. But then you have like cases like Paulo Costa where it was an IV is what he got caught with because someone on his team recorded him just using an IV, and that's technically a USADA violation. So I'm not even going to try and figure out what goes on in the office of USADA.
But fighters have got really cool jackets now.
Yeah.
Letterman jackets.
Sick, dog. I want a ring. That'd be dope. That'd be cool.
Come on, Esther.
Class ring.
Aren't you going to tell us next question? Aren't you going to cue us up? Go get this question out of here, Esther. Come on.
All right, yeah. Get this question off the page, please.
Yeah. Be gone,
USADA.
All right. From MMG2K20.
I like this question.
Opinions on taking 90% for missing weight, as Izzy said. Fighters clearly try to fight at the lowest possible weight class to try to gain a size advantage and end up missing weight. Should the UFC put a clause in contracts not allowing fighters to go below a certain weight class?
I'm assuming that means if they miss weight, they would have to go up in weight. Is that what the question is asking?
I think it's just saying that like there's a minimum possible weight that they think you could make, and that you shouldn't say like Izzy can't be like, yeah, I'll totally sign a contract for lightweight. You know, just making sure that fighters don't sign contracts for fights that they of weight classes they can't make.
Doesn't California have something like that? Where if you fight and they weigh your body fat or composition, whatever, then the next fight can't be in that weight class. But that doesn't mean you can't fight in that weight class. It means you can't fight in that weight class in California, correct?
Correct.
You could fight. It's so like DJ, when Demetrius John fought Henry Cejudo, if he fought again in California, he probably wouldn't be able to be at flyweight. But then he could fight in like Duluth, Iowa, in flyweight if he wanted to.
But the idea is the commissions are supposed to respect the other commissions. That's and that's how it goes for most of the time. I don't understand that last part about contract.
Let's go back to that's not the important part of the question. The important part of the question is the 90%. And here's what I think. I don't know if 90% is necessarily the solution. I do think that it shouldn't just be show money, though. It should be show and good money. It should be the entire purse. And it can be higher. And also, I don't know. There's something weird. There's something to be said about the people who don't try to cut weight, who do show up at the beginning, who aren't continuing to try to, in that 2-hour window, to try to get to the contracted weight. So I don't know. Also, because it's only like 20 or 30%, so many people do take that gamble and think, well, it's only 20 or 30%, but I get my whole win bonus. So
really, it's only 15%.
Yeah. So I think that making sure that it comes out of the entire purse would have a much bigger impact. But that also goes into my other thing, which is I think that there should just be larger show purses and smaller win purses.
Right.
That's another discussion. That the guys are just
aren't making
enough money. But do you not agree? If let's just say who it was. This is really about Zabaya. What's his name?
Zubaira.
It's about two people.
Yeah,
it is
and
about
Ludovic
two people.
Klein.
Ludovic Klein. Ludovic Klein was who UFC middleweight champion Israel Adesanya was just discussing in his post-fight press conference because Ludovic Klein head kicked his teammate Shane Young. That's why it was that was why it was on the forefront of his mind.
Yeah. Well, he was talking about Klein.
And of course Akeem Dawodu is Nigerian, so him and Izzy were hanging out all week anyway.
With Zabaya came in. Zubaira came in 4 pounds over, but it's important to note he had a full camp and he came in almost 90 minutes before he had to. Klein, I think, gets a little bit of leeway because he was a late notice guy, and at least he had the courtesy to show up toward the end of the weigh-ins. So, but regardless of all that.
And Zubaira, from what I hear, because both Israel Adesanya and Akeem Dawodu has told us the same story post-fight, is that they walked in on Zubaira on the treadmill, like pretty close to when they were supposed to weigh in, and Akeem kind of hung about, and he said he had a feeling that as soon as he left, Zubaira hopped off the treadmill. So it was basically for show, like, look, I'm trying to make weight, but in the back of his mind, he knew he wasn't going to. I don't know if that's 100% the case, but that's what Akeem Dawodu and Israel Adesanya alluded to. Plus, Israel Adesanya said some fighters have trust funds. They don't. Losing 30% is nothing. Like, if Zubaira has has business on the side, he has more. His income, his side hustle, or whatever you want to call it, is more than his UFC purse. 30% is nothing. But you lose 90%, you better. I guarantee you, he's gonna at least try to make weight, even if you have to drag him on the scale at the end. So, but again, this is all what Israel Adesanya was alluding to. We don't know if those are the facts. I just am relaying the message.
I would like the 90%. If they come in over a certain whatever, you have to proportion out per weight class. Like 5 pounds over at the light heavyweight is much different than 5 pounds over at flyweight. So you it needs to be some kind of proportion. But if you're, say, 5 pounds over any weight class, 90%. I have no issue. I don't want to see guys lose 90% for being half a pound over. That's my issue. Like, no, the half a pound, I think the 20-30% is still a good number. But when the guys are just excessive amount of weight coming in overweight and really just gaming the system, absolutely. So,
and I believe in the 5 pounds. And even in Las Vegas, you can't even fight if you're 5 pounds, if you miss by 5 pounds, right? That's what happens. 6 pounds. That's what happened to Claudia Gadelha and Alexa Grasso. They just scrapped the fight entirely.
But even that was so stupid too, because that's all. If you just have to make a catch weight before the person weighs in. This happened with Kelvin and Cerrone at one of the MSG cards, because Cerrone weighed in first, but then Kelvin came in later and came in so far over that they just scrapped the fight. But if Kelvin weighed in first, and then Donald knew how much he had to weigh, he was just rehydrated to be in the weight class. So that's kind of there's workarounds that you just have to plan ahead.
So basically, it's all a
Correct.
wash now. Cool. Well, then let's go to the next question.
Did Kelvin weigh in? Kelvin didn't even weigh in New York.
Because they knew it was gonna be so far.
He knew he was gonna be so far over.
Right. Yeah, so he just didn't even try.
Yeah,
I think he weighed in
Tim
at the
Kennedy
in the private. You know how they have 2 scales, one that they weigh in on before they come out to the media.
Yeah.
I actually think that they weighed him there, and that's when they decided. So
This is when Kelvin was still trying to make it back to welterweight, right? And then I think his next fight, he pieced up Tim Kennedy at middleweight.
Mm-hmm.
Is that
okay?
Yeah, something like that. Or maybe
in Toronto.
But
I think it was UFC 206.
Yeah. So, and that same goes for the Grasso Claudia situation. If Grasso would have weighed in earlier, and that's also on Claudia if she wants to go take the fight at a higher weight class too. But going back to 90%, 90%. If you come in an excessive amount, I think I don't like it for like half a pound, but excessive amount.
And if you try too, because like remember when Paddy Pimblett was supposed to fight what was it, Joe Giannetti? I think I don't know his last name off the top of my head. It's one of the tough veterans.
Talking about Cage Warriors now, right? Cage Warriors.
Yes, correct. Paddy Pimblett was supposed to headline or fight for a title or something. Our Pete Takara was doing some awesome work on the ground for that, and his original opponent fell out, and then Joe Giannetti I think filled in, and then he flew across the pond and missed weight badly and didn't even try to get back into the sauna. And Paddy Pimblett said, if I saw him just get back in the sauna and try, or if he came in looking rough, like I knew he tried, then I would have fought him. But he just saw Joe, and he's like, you didn't even try to make weight. You just showed up. You could still make it. You just don't want to. So I think that makes a difference in my mind too. If you try 100% and you just don't make it, some fighters will take the fight. But I think it's so disrespectful, like what Zubair did, to show up 90 minutes before.
Yeah.
And like you could clearly make weight. But if he came in like at like the hour 55 mark and he's just like just draw, like remember when I think it was Brian Ortega weighed in at UFC 214 before he fought Moicano. He came in with like 3 minutes to spare. His hair was wet. He was trying to like get it down. He looked awful. Like you could tell he put everything into that weight cut. So I think you have to account for that too.
And every fighter, I mean, we've heard that a million times. Like, that guy didn't even try. So, but
right.
Say it, Esther. Next question. Come on.
Next question.
Yeah.
Dang.
All right. So this is a 2-parter because from a longtime commenter, Trumbo. The first part is, who's lying? Dana, Conor, both. Do you believe that the UFC has been holding Conor back from fighting? And then a few hours later, about an hour later, he wrote, update. It seems the UFC has offered Conor the Dustin fight. Do you think he actually takes it, or did Dana just call his bluff? And we don't even know if this is official yet. I'm just going to say that was the end of the question. Sorry. But
are you making this a 3-parter?
No, I transitioned into my own thought way too seamlessly. Behind the scenes, MMA fighting works super hard at making confirmations. We need at least 2 sources to confirm. So behind the scenes, we were all like, this isn't even real, blah, blah, blah. But it's taking some time to confirm that this has actually happened, because when we first asked
what's happening,
Dustin's management, they said no. So.
Okay, so there.
You also had like
no, as in they hadn't been offered it.
Yeah, there are 7 question marks in this question, by the way.
Oh wow, yeah.
This isn't a 2-parter. This is a 7-parter, Esther.
I think Dana's putting pressure on somebody, but that's been the narrative for a long time when Dana wants things to happen. Like, remember when all of a sudden there were reports that Demetrius Johnson was going to fight Cody Garbrandt in Seattle in like August 2016, and then of course that didn't happen. I think Dana's just putting the pressure on me. I think he would book it if Conor said yes, but I think he's calling Conor's bluff. Like, because Conor wants to do the exhibition match against Dustin Poirier for like charity and stuff. But I know that most UFC contracts say you can't do exhibition matches, especially MMA exhibition. So I think, and this is pure speculation, I have absolutely no knowledge of this, of what's actually happening. If Conor had done one, I think we could get into this whole big legal case of employees versus independent contractor type things. And I know the UFC doesn't want to get into that. And Conor, I doubt, wants to get into that too. So I bet Dana called his bluff, and I bet Conor would take it if given enough time. I don't think they're going to headline a pay-per-view on December 12th or December 19th, whatever that pay-per-view is they want to do. Mm-hmm. But Dustin 100% would take it. We all know that.
Yeah.
But I think this is a little bit of... Go ahead.
We're not
Dustin
asking
also
about...
tweeted later, I accept, so...
No, except with the Conor exhibition match. Not except...
No. Accepted.
No, he tweeted... So Dana did an interview with Robbie Barstool and said that he had offered both sides the fight. And then within like half an hour to an hour, Dustin Poirier tweeted, "I accept."
Okay, but the offer is the easy part. What the issue is, obviously, the money. Because he was offered Tony Ferguson, but if you pay him, $20,000, he's not taking that, So right. I guess Dustin, when he says I accept, I'm assuming he accepts at whatever financial offer the UFC is giving him too. Because offering the fight is the easy part. It's like, well, how much? It's like, because they offered Ferguson, like, so I guess, is Dustin happy with the money to fight?
If you were Dustin or Dustin's team and you're like giving Dustin advice, do you take slightly less money to fight Conor than Tony?
Less?
Only if, hold on, only if pay-per-view points are included.
So you're taking more money. You're expecting more money.
So you're actually taking more money.
Yeah.
But up front, less money.
So if you are Dustin's team and say they give, I don't know what the exact number they offered him to fight Tony, and they say, we'll offer you the exact same amount to fight Conor. Everything is the same. The only change to the Tony Ferguson contract is it's 5 rounds, and I erased Tony Ferguson and put Conor. So I doubt they were getting pay-per-view points when he was fighting Tony. It's the exact same contract, just 5 rounds in Conor McGregor. Do you take that?
No.
Okay, sure.
I would, if I'm Dustin. I think, to me, Tony, you're going to leave, I think, a lot more you're going to leave in a less, you're physically going to be different. Like, we see all the pictures and everything. Plus, I think Conor just brings way more attention.
Yeah, Conor brings way more attention, so you should get way more money.
That's not what I'm asking, though. So your answer would be no.
Hell yeah. Yeah, of course no.
All right.
So I'm assuming, but Dustin said I accept, so I'm assuming he's happy with the money. So we gotta find out if Conor.
I would imagine so. Unless he's referring to something completely different.
Yeah.
Or he's referring to saying maybe he'll accept the amount that Conor offered, if Dana wants to pay it, because that was, that was a sticking point, and Conor, I guess, must have offered more money for that exhibition match than Dustin was getting. So
was it only $500,000? Not only $500,000. $500,000 is a lot of money for a charity, but
that's quite a bit.
Yeah,
it's quite a bit.
I would hope Dustin makes more than $500,000 to fight the biggest name prize fighter in the world.
It would also benefit the Good Fight Foundation, which was the big point that he wanted to plug too. Like, he made sure to plug that. And I think Conor was all on board with that too, because Conor needs a good publicity.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to the next question, and then
do we answer all 7 questions inside this question?
Yes.
So real quickly,
yes.
Who's lying?
Yes,
who's lying?
Yes,
no.
Yes, no.
Who's lying?
Who's lying? Dana.
Dana's lying.
Dana.
Okay. Dana.
100%. I would be hard pressed to imagine this hypothetical Manny Pacquiao fight. I guarantee you that Dana had prior knowledge, and he is not. When he just, I don't know what this is all about. I highly doubt that.
Yeah, no, I think so too, especially because he teased it a couple months ago.
How would Dana not know? That's ridiculous.
I asked Dana White to his face at that press conference. He said, "I don't give a shit." And then my Twitter mentions were like, "It was a stupid question." I was like, "You're jerks. I know what I'm talking about."
Yeah, you're still burnt. You're still hurting by that. that still gets you.
People are like, "What a dumb question. You're stupid. Why would you even ask that? You're making fights." I'm like, do you not remember like a few months ago when the Schmo asked Dana White or Conor that same question in January, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll fight Manny Pacquiao in Allegiant Stadium or whatever," in the new Vegas one. And then Ariel as Conor, when he did the one-on-one, he's like, yeah, that's a possibility too. I'd be very interested in that fight. And then I asked, and everyone was like, you're stupid, you're dumb, you smell.
And then
your
about a
shoes
month
are
ago,
up."
Dana White said that he had some announcements to make in boxing. So
How about that?
But okay, real quick change of subject. How excited are we for Zuffa boxing? All right, next question.
Yeah, about that.
can you see me squinting at you?
I'm more excited for the fanless baseball season. What does this say?
All right. Okay. So from Strike.mx or Strike MX NYC, is Aljo versus Jan still not officially booked? What in the flying fuck?
Whoa, Esther.
It is not official.
Language.
That's what it says.
Okay, I like it.
It is not official, but Dana White has basically said Aljo's next. I imagine the holdup would be contracts, Jan trying to figure out travel situations, where they're going to fight. Because I would imagine Jan's going to fight on Fight Island. But after this, like, I was talking amongst the media, and obviously there's no word. We're just all speculating. Like, when do you think we'll be back? We bet it'll be like February or March. They'll probably try to do another Fight Island month. Abu Dhabi month, I'm assuming it would be around then.
Yeah.
Hashtag
They don't do the end of December because of bowl season and ESPN, but there's no bowl. Until recently there was no college football season, so I don't know what the UFC is going to try and do.
Yeah, I see. I think I can actually see them doing it in December in Vegas too. If I think the U.S. is going to relax its visa laws. I mean, it has. I mean, we think that they're not letting people in, but a lot of Brazilians got into the U.S. and they're having just as bad of a time with COVID as we are. So clearly, it doesn't have anything to do with that.
Davison Figueiredo and Cody Garbrandt headlining an Apex card, and the co-main event is Valentina Shevchenko and Jennifer Maia. Three of those four names aren't like U.S. fighters. So,
and when is when is that fight?
Then, Darren Till, Jack Hermansson's in the Apex.
Yeah. So yeah, the whole international thing. I don't even know. Actually, I don't even get why actually Fight Island's a thing now. Honestly, if the international thing.
You mean you don't understand why Court McGee and Carlos Condit are fighting in Yaz Island?
That I don't understand.
It's like when Rashad Evans fought Sam Alvey in Mexico City.
Or
my favorite example of this is when Bisping fought Tim Kennedy in Quebec.
Quebec City.
Quebec City.
Mr. America versus Mr. England in the most Canadian city in Canada.
In
the separatist region.
Didn't GSP fight Dan Hardy in Minnesota?
No, that was in New York.
Was it in New York?
Or New Jersey, whatever. Yeah.
New Jersey.
Who did GSP fight in Minnesota? Or am I just making something up?
Yeah, I think you're making something up. That maybe like one of his early pre-championship fights.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? We got questions coming up. So no, this fight's not booked. Nothing's officially.
John Fitch in Minnesota.
Nothing's officially booked till they walk into the cage.
100%. Not even when they're lining up, because what happened to Trevin Giles?
I know.
That fight fell off like ASAP.
Well, but yeah, we've had guys pop for COVID after weigh-ins too. So this is a very handsome question. Can you read it, Esther?
Eduardo Arino de la Rubio would like to know.
Say it right with a little accent, with a little flair, Esther.
I can't.
Oh, come on.
Eduardo Arino de la Rubia.
Yeah, respect the man.
Better?
10 out of 10.
Yeah.
How much do you miss fighters getting to pick their own outfits? A lot. I'm gonna answer first. I'm not even gonna ask any of you guys. A lot. I do miss that a lot, especially because, you saw Izzy wearing the Akatsuki shirt at the presser, right? But MVP got to. Yeah, but MVP got to wear the actual robe to his walkout.
Yes, he did. And he had throwing knife.
Yes, and he got to bring throwing knife. So I'm positive Izzy would have preferred to actually. Can you imagine walking out? And especially, I keep thinking about this. Conor got to walk out with he walked into the cage and they had that awesome fog underneath.
Yep.
I don't know. I would just like to see them kind of come in on like a little electric chariot that's shaped like a cloud.
Mm-hmm. I would like if he came out on his flying Nimbus, like in Dragon Ball Z or
Yes,
Dragon Ball,
exactly.
I should say.
Yes.
I would be all about it. Also, his whole team is weeps. Like I imagine they would try and do something all fun. Like
Yeah.
I interviewed Blood Diamond.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that is his name. Everyone if you want to shorten it, everyone just shortens it to Blood.
That's his name. Wait, is that his legal name? It's like when he.
No, his government name is Mike Diamond, but everyone calls him Blood Diamond.
Oh, cool.
To the point where when I interviewed the city kickboxing team, they did a week or a weekend where Eugene said no nicknames. Like you would get fined or something if you called someone by their nickname, and they couldn't no one called him Mike. They just called him Blood. So it was so difficult to go call him by his real name. But anyway, I digress. His whole Instagram story this week was he was wearing Akatsuki stuff the whole week. Like that whole team is about that stuff. So I feel like we missed out on some fun entrances from everyone this weekend.
And the other reason is actually Casey brought this up to me the other day is that Izzy might be the first post Reebok era star. Because Conor, Holly, Ronda, they all came on before Reebok was a thing. So they all got to have their kind of individual style show off a little more first before being, put into a uniform.
And I think his Engaged team, that the brand that he represents quite a bit, the whole city kickboxing team, they were all here. And if you watch that interview, they're all wearing Engage, and then Izzy has his Puma stuff just head to toe. So I think that whole team has really gets it. Izzy of course has his own flair and style, but they all had custom Engage shirts, every single one of them.
Engage just came out with a line of shorts for each of their fighters, and I actually think that their designs are really good and I
agree.
Fashionable. And then also letting Izzy walk out in stuff like Puma, I just think raises the perception of the UFC. I don't see how it's harmful at all.
Well, it's harmful because the UFC ain't making that money. Puma's making that money. Izzy's making that money. That's where it's harmful.
I think that I wish there was something like in football or in basketball or in baseball. Football players have to wear, I think it's Reebok or Adidas or Nike. I don't remember. I don't know what the uniforms are now, but I know for a while it was Nike. You have to wear the uniforms that are Nike. But then Tom Brady was an Under Armour athlete, so he could wear Under Armour cleats and what have you. And then Derek Jeter was a Jordan athlete, so he would have to wear whatever the jerseys that make the MLB jerseys, but he could wear Jordan cleats and Jordan gloves, same as LeBron gets to wear Nikes, but then Kawhi Leonard gets to wear New Balances, but they have to wear Nike basketball jerseys. That's part of the game. I just don't know what could they make shorts? Everyone has to wear similar shorts, but I don't know. There's no equipment in MMA to really put their logos on these things, unless they start doing custom gloves, which would be really cool. But who knows?
So, with the answer to Ed's question, yeah, of course we miss it. It sucks.
I miss it a lot.
Answer is yes.
Yeah, it sucks. But even just go back to freaking Conor versus Mayweather. Man, we remember those fights because Conor came out in his all white and the white shorts and everything. He looked great actually. And he had Mayweather coming out in his all black, basically dressed as a a thief. He was like a bank robber kind of.
He was wearing a ski mask.
Yeah, basically, and he kind of said this is a robbery. Yeah, bank robber. I'm stealing everyone's money, which is great. That was a good play. But yeah, of course he missed it.
You'll love to see it.
Yeah. Man, we just watched
Next
Ryzen.
question.
We just watched Ryzen. Remember Tension coming out in his awesome clothes? Oh, jeez. All right, Esther.
I'm sorry. I want the time to go faster because
do you want to make your announcement? Is that what you want to do? We're at 40 minutes.
No. You already put a question up on the screen.
I can take it away.
Answer this
All
one. Takero Man 91 from the comments would like to know: will Venum also be providing MMA gloves to the UFC, or is their new deal only for the fight wear?
I don't know. Right? That's a very good question. That is a very, very good question. I will say, I wish they would do they're never going to do it, but I like the Strikeforce and Bellator deal where their gloves are just different colors rather than black with red and blue duct tape.
Mm-hmm.
I like both fighters getting like red and blue gloves depending on. Anyway, I think it also makes it a little more collectible if you're the fighter, because you can be like, oh, look at all my blue gloves and now I'm the red corner, rather than look at my 30 gloves that look exactly the same.
I do like the different colors also because I do think it actually helps the judges, although there is a study out there that says whoever has the red gloves generally, their punches get seen more. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I would love, we don't know the answer to that, but my answer is that I would love for Venum to start making the gloves for the UFC, because I would hope that they are able to improve upon the design, because one thing that was very noticeable, I guess, from watching UFC and then watching Ryzen right after was that you hardly ever see eye pokes in Ryzen. That doesn't really happen. And that is because the Isami gloves are just, they're naturally just a little bit curved. And they're also crafted very well.
They're lace up. They're lace up.
Venum, yeah, lace up. Venum has a reputation for making good gear. So maybe if they actually get to do the gloves, I would be excited to see any improvements that they would make to them.
Agreed.
But we have no clue.
But we don't know because they haven't given us the details of the deal yet. Actually,
I doubt they'll even announce anything because it doesn't start till January.
So they're gonna announce it a week.
Before. I think technically they can't. Yeah.
Technically, they can announce a lot of stuff. They've already announced that Reebok's done at the end of the year, so they have.
I'm just gonna interrupt you, Casey.
I would like to add an unrelated. Conor McGregor just tweeted something that says, "Martial arts sparring match in aid of charity, Dublin, December 12, 2020. Free to air spar. McGregor versus Poirier. List of chosen charities available soon. All donations welcome." And then he has a fight poster out that says McGregor versus Poirier 2 charity event, December 12th, Dublin, in association with McGregor Sports and Entertainment and the Good Fight Foundation, with an actual poster. So that happened about 7 minutes ago.
Well, that's exciting. And also, I would watch.
I love watching sparring.
Also, because it's for charity, which is awesome. The Good Fight's done a lot of great things, especially I'm really grateful for all their work for food banks. That's been a really huge issue in America right now. We've got a lot of families going hungry between losing their jobs through COVID cuts and things like that. So it's admirable that this is happening, and kind of funny that this is the kind of thing that actually is propelling Dana into possibly making the deal actually happen.
It's smart because, what's Dana going to do? Say, no, you can't do a charity. We don't want you donating to charity. We want to keep the money. Come on.
Yeah.
That's smart on Conor. I think initially for a little bit, Conor, I think Dana White might have been in the driver's seat, especially with the leaked DMs and this and that and blah, blah, blah. Especially because, it's something I can't remember who said it, but someone here was like Conor and Dana. It was like Conor Conor to Dana was like a fan, yelling at a comedian. The stand-up comedian has the platform with the microphone. Dana White is doing a million scrums today, and Conor is just tweeting. Now I think Conor is taking a little bit of the driver's seat away with this charity event, because it would look terrible if Dana said no to a charity event.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, but it looked terrible. But then what?
Anyway.
I don't think it hurts.
Yeah.
So?
But then what?
Yeah. You're still going to watch UFC?
Okay. Well, since it's almost 11 and we did start late, so we will go a little bit later. I might as well do my announcement. And then we'll take some more questions.
The floor is yours.
So today is my last day at MMA fighting. I've been at MMA fighting since 2009, so that's 11 years. And no, I didn't get fired. No, I didn't get laid off. I know I'm not going anywhere else. I'm just exhausted. No, I'm actually pursuing an alternate career. Now that COVID has taken photography away from me, because there's no photography at UFC events. I've asked many, many, many times. Chelsea, thank you so much for fielding my constant questions about this. I think I bug her every single week. Every time they send out an application for the next credential, I'm like, can I take photos yet? Can I take photos yet? She checks every time, and sadly the answer is always no. So, I'm tired of being sidelined, and it's, I'm a photographer, so I got to shoot. So, or at least do something. I'm creative, so I gotta do something. So I'm leaving MMA fighting, but I will still be the voice of Timeline and some other things. Still probably hear from me and see me around, but I need to take some time off to pursue this dream of doing voiceover work that coincidentally my work at MMA fighting started with a focus. And yeah. And, I didn't want to say this part, but because I know I'm just going to get a bunch of negative comments when I say this. But the other reason is that I am the MMA world is extremely toxic, as is just the online world in general. And I feel too much. Casey calls me the guy from Green Mile because I feel everything. And that's true. I just have too much empathy, and reading all this stuff just makes me so incredibly sad. And so I need to take some time for myself and repair my mental health and my health in general. And and you'll probably hear my voice in a lot of things, but until photos come back, I probably won't be around. Thanks, though, for the many, many years of awesomeness. And thank you to everyone at MMA Fighting. And thank you to the fans and all the people who continue to look at the photos and look at our, people. I think I get requests for focus all the time. And I'm sorry, Aspen Lad. I know I just commented on your page that I wanted to do a mixed martial arts on you and your pack. And I would still do that, actually. I would still do the video. But whenever you're available. So, yeah, I'm sad that because it feels like the end of a giant chunk of my life, but I'm almost all ready to move on, and I'm really grateful for everybody's support.
There you have it, folks. The best photographer in sports. I don't know what else to say.
Leaving to actually hopefully get to do some more photography, because I hope so. I haven't photographed a fight since March, so.
I sure hope so, because I don't think when I joined 2 years ago, I tried to make the social team, because I joined the social. I do a lot of the social stuff. I tried to make it look a certain way when I joined. That was one of my big goals, and I've gotten a lot of compliments on it. And I say, imagine trying to do this without Esther's archive of photos. It makes it so much easier, because she has the best photos to choose from, an entire catalog that goes back 10 years. So I take no credit for that. It is 100% Esther and Casey's, of course, work with all of
nonsense.
These videos.
You have great style.
No, it's definitely you guys. But I don't know what else to say. It's weird. It's weird that I'm the one here, because like you worked with Ariel and Sean and Chuck and Luke for so long, and I don't know. I feel like what do people call it? Imposter syndrome. That's the word. But anyway, I don't know what else to say.
I still have that. I still have imposter syndrome really, really bad. I constantly think that I don't deserve to be where I am, or maybe people just
no way.
All that kind of stuff. But
best.
Every once in a while I go back and look at my work and go, oh yeah, I didn't know what I was doing.
No way. You're my girlfriend Julia does not like MMA, but man, she loves your photos. Like after fights, when you used to photograph, she would be like, I might not care about the fights, but I want to see the photos. And some of my friends don't watch fights, but they'll send me photos, and 9 times out of 10, they're yours. I'm like, that's my coworker. That's awesome. I have one of your posters, literally. I have your blown up photo framed in my room. It's like my most prized possession.
Thank you.
Anyway,
I'm hoping that, I'm hoping to one day return when there are big events with audiences and stuff too. But that might be another year. It doesn't seem like we're gonna be able to have crowds and ringside photographers and all that kind of stuff for quite a while. Especially in the United States. So, unfortunately, that's just the reality. I wish I could change that, but I cannot. So, I have to go.
Right. Casey, anything you would like to add?
Nah, I'm good.
All right. I think we had a couple more questions, though. I feel like we didn't answer a couple. Like there was one about Holly. There was some stuff about this week. Because I was the one that prepared these graphics. So now someone else has to do it. Oh, well, I guess a question for me. Since you, Esther, can't afford to miss a split-second moment, how tense are you when taking pictures of fights? And can you actually enjoy fights under those circumstances? This is how tense am I? I am super tense. Really, really tense. Especially if you've ever slacked me or messaged me during a fight night and or seen me cage side. I kind of have like mini freakouts constantly because I feel like I'm not sending the photos fast enough or whatever, that kind of stuff. Can I enjoy the fights? Yes and no. When I'm watching most fights, I'm just kind of making sure that I'm getting the action, following along. Oh, Alex. But when it's the main event, like when they walk out, especially say like Izzy, Robert Whitaker, my heart starts beating super loud. I start getting super nervous. My hands get all sweaty. I have to put in earplugs because there's like too much ambient noise and too much going on. And the earplugs don't cut out all the sound. It just makes it slightly quieter so that I'm not overwhelmed. Again, like I said, I feel too much. So I have to kind of like tone everything down a little bit so I can focus. And so it's kind of hard. I do enjoy the fights, but also at the same time, it's difficult to enjoy when you're really just trying to pay attention to making sure you're getting the action, telling the story accurately, being a true journalist and representing exactly what's happening in front of you. And then the other problem that's been happening since I've been in this so long, I've been at MMA fighting for 11 years, shooting. I've been in MMA stuff for about 13 years. Is that you end up learning and meeting a lot of these fighters. And even if you're not friends with them or whatever, you know enough of them that when you see them get hurt, it stops being exciting. It's less and less. I've gotten to the point where I'm like, whoa, that was crazy. What an amazing knockout, to the point where, oh my God, I hope that person's okay. That balance is changing because I'm a big baby. So, it's hard to enjoy fights. Yeah, I do enjoy them, but I also have a really hard time enjoying them. But at the same time, if I go to an event, I've been to a couple of fights in the audience. I cannot enjoy them in the audience either. I can't sit there without feeling like I have to shoot or do something.
It's sometimes I forget fight. Like I'm looking at I'm writing or trying to get video out or anything like that. I guarantee you I've missed more things than I see sitting backstage or octagon side or anything. Like I barely saw the Ben Askren, like the Masvidal Ben Askren knockout, because I was like sitting down to write something and then I happened to look up and then it happened. So just there's a lot of things going. People think they go to fights and they watch fights. There's a million things happening all at once.
That one I missed the actual contact because of that fact too. I was just like, usually nothing really happens in the first like 2 seconds of a fight, and so I was just kind of like scanning across the cage to make sure I had my focus proper, looking at both guys, and then
That's you're slacking. The fight went a total of 7 seconds. Come on.
Yeah. I know.
5 seconds, wasn't it?
That's why you're getting rid of me.
Is that
5 seconds? Yeah. The record's 5. The old record was 7.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
Which, yeah. There was some, yeah. That was it.
Zombie.
Yeah, well, it was Zombie, Todd Duffy, I think Dwayne Ludwig. There was a whole bunch of people like tied at 6 or 7. And then Gamebred Masvidal just ethered Ben Askren in 5 seconds. Getting a lot of love, Esther.
Oh, thank you, everybody. That's very kind.
You should quit. You should quit more often. This is like very positive. It's very positive. Yeah.
You should quit more often, he said. That's so funny.
Yeah, definitely should. This is awesome. I've never gotten so much love, and especially since I'm on the show right now, I'm not actually policing the comments like I normally do. So I'm not seeing the usual "who the fuck is this girl talking" stuff, which is, it helps me out a little bit. Good day to exit on all these positive messages from all of my friends that I've made over the years.
Speaking on that, question for you though. There's a lot more females in the world of MMA media now since you first joined, right?
Yeah, there are, but there were a lot in the beginning as well. But it was a different world. When I first started, it was pretty difficult to get cage side and things like that, and also to get paid for shooting. And so a lot of the times, one of the things I had to do was I would get to shoot the fight, but in order to get paid, I had to go shoot the after parties. And I don't know if you could probably imagine I don't drink, so I'm not much of a partier.
You're also probably not the biggest person in a room of testosterone and fighters running about.
Hey, you don't know that.
Yeah. So and I was very new to the industry when I had to do this, so nobody knew who I was. I was running around trying to get like famous fighters to just post for a photo and that kind of stuff. And it was a lot of women had to get into the industry that way. Like we had to like volunteer to do this or be on camera or do that, blah blah blah. And it's nice to finally just be a part of it without without it being an issue, I guess. And me just getting to do what I'm best at. So that's awesome. And I hope that whoever MMA Fighting brings in to replace me, personally, I think that I'm worth like 3 employees. But I think I'm hoping there's at least another woman in there. So because somebody had to give me the chance, to start. There's no full-time MMA photographers that are female. That's not a thing. Cage side, I was often the only one, or one of 2, or out of 16. So I just want to see more women in the industry. And a lot of times you might say, oh, but they don't have the experience or whatever. Well, they're never going to get the experience if you don't give them the chance. So you got to do it. Novus22 says, what? I got here late. She's hanging up the lens, so to speak.
Get it?
No,
get it?
Actually,
lens?
I get it. Not actually hanging up the lens. The thing is that my lens has been hung up by COVID. So, I'm deciding to take a break and do an MMA retirement here and leave MMA fighting to go pursue my other creative ventures, which is I've been doing voiceover work on the side. And gardening, and gardening,
and feeding hummingbirds,
and feeding hummingbirds. If during the show you notice me kind of like glance off to the side up here in this corner, that's because a hummingbird is feeding at my window, and I can't not look when they come by.
That sounds like a lovely day.
Oh, it's great. But yeah, I just I miss being creative, and I miss kind of doing that stuff. So I'm gonna, return to the freelance world and take some time off, and mainly actually take some time off. Maybe you'll hear my voice in some museum someday when you do your audio.
My grandmother used to do that for Spanish-speaking tours.
That's so cool.
She would be you'd get the headset at like the Grand Canyon. You'd hear like my grandmother like give you the history of the Grand Canyon. She'd get a lot of those odd jobs.
I
think at one point, I think she was a maid in a Chuck Norris movie. She was the Mexican maid that had to hide Chuck Norris when he ran through the room. Maybe you could get that gig. That'd be a fun gig.
Yeah.
Be a Mexican maid?
Yeah.
No, of course so. I'm also hoping one day. I wouldn't say I'm a very good actress, so I don't know how this will happen, but I would like to voice some animation. So, I mean, I was the voice of Trash Can here, a very failed venture into animation that I tried here on MMA Fighting. But,
I think that would be the dream. Man, that'd be so cool. Watching TV and all of a sudden Esther's voicing something. Isn't Sage Northcutt's girlfriend a voice actor? Or fiance now?
Yeah, she's a voice actress. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's an actress. She's a very successful one. Yeah, she's a very successful one. Anyway, any more questions? I know we're going long.
Yeah, we're it's about that time.
We didn't talk about this weekend's
about that time?
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't really get any questions on this weekend's card. Any fights besides the main event? Any fights you're looking forward to besides the main event?
Yes, strawweight. Loma and Jin Yu Fry.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Loma looked on me. I love watching her fight. Love watching Jin. So that's going to be awesome. Also, everyone's always interested in the return of the natural born killer, right? Carlos Condit. So
100%.
And not just because he was sporting my shirt all week.
Yes, he was.
That's really the main one. I mean, obviously the main event. I love Holly Holm fights, and I love Irene Aldana fights. Irene Aldana is like one of my favorite Invicta signings that we've brought over. So I'm super excited to watch her fight.
No, and you are of the week. You are like the first person I've heard say her name correctly, and it drives me insane. Like Daniel Cormier on the broadcast is like Irene Aldana. Like, you just played Hispanic Heritage Month commercial, and now you have DC here being like Irene Aldana. I was like, good God, man. Anyway, Irene Aldana, that's gonna be a scrap. I'm excited for Casey Kenny and Kyler Phillips, Arizona boys. So, Arizona is very well represented on this card.
And Kyler Phillips has like amazing hair.
He is like, I've interacted with him a few times in Arizona. He is every definition of like a hippie. He is like, it's amazing. He's talking about like Mother Nature and the sun and how he's just like the infinite wisdom of the mind. And I was like, this rules. This is so cool.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot.
And
we have to run back our coffee talk with Carlos Condit. I forgot we did that a couple years back.
Yeah, we had a breakfast before we called it Coffee Talk. We had breakfast with Carlos Condit. Yeah. But we didn't call it Coffee Talk, but we should have, because the reason why we were there was to talk to him also about his new venture into the coffee business. So we should probably run it back. Actually, we should just catch up with him again and see how 100 Hands is doing.
100%. And he has some new jeans coming out.
Yeah, and he's got new jeans. But yeah, this is you've got what, 4 more weeks in Abu Dhabi?
I sure do.
4 more weeks in Abu Dhabi. Good luck.
Are you playing? Are you playing us out, Esther? Right now? Is that what we're doing?
No, I'm just. I'm just.
I can roll the music so you can play it out.
Today was the first day I felt I was sitting here. I was like, oh God, I have so much more of this, because like everything starts late over here.
Yeah.
So you have just gaps and gaps and gaps, and we can go from this hotel to that hotel and back. So everyone's like, oh, you're in Abu Dhabi, you can go to Ferrari World and the world's fastest roller coaster and do racetracks. I'm like, nah, dude, I can get a bike and ride from one. Oscar Willis and I on the Mac Life, we literally just do laps with our bikes, because that's all we can do. And then like the beach is there, but then there's no Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I'm so bummed that you can't go to the water park there, because it is so good.
I'm very disappointed. I asked, because you told me to ask, and they said no mas, but there's like a beach here, and when I go down there, I don't have international data, so my phone doesn't connect to anything, and I'm just nervous that since it's nighttime for you guys, but it's daytime for me, that something will happen, and I'll be the only one up, and I'll have to run back. It's an interesting time here in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, you need to get rid of that thought. Don't worry about it.
Oh, that will never leave my head. That's just how my brain operates.
Leave it. Conor will tweet again in the morning. It's okay.
Boy, don't say that. That'll give me PTSD. Anyway, Casey, is that a wrap for this episode of the A-Side?
Boop, boop, boop. Yes, that is a wrap.
Oh. That is a wrap. So you can find this on Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, Apple, all that good stuff. YouTube, of course. This has been Jose. That's been Casey. We'll have all of your UFC Fight Island 4 content, weigh-ins, preview show, all that good stuff. And, of course, Esther, this was her last day at MMAfighting.com. So, Esther, say bye to everyone for the final time.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Good luck in your future endeavors.
Ooh, I got future endeavored.
Bye.